Hello viewers, welcome back. In this video, let us learn about the Vesper theory. See, in the previous videos, we have seen about the covalent bonds by Lewis dot structure and the electron deficient molecules. Now let us see the Vesper theory. See, in the Lewis dot structures, some shortcomings, otherwise some drawbacks are there. So to overcome those drawbacks, Vesper theory was proposed. So now we'll see what are the drawbacks that are present in the Lewis dot structure. See, while writing the Lewis dot structures, we have taken the electrons that are present in the outermost shell. So those electrons that are present in the outermost shell are taken and we have represented them as a dot structures. So this Lewis electron pair approach, it can give only the number and the type of the bond present between the atoms in a molecule. That means the type of the bond means if one pair of electron is shared, a single bond. If two pairs are shared, double bond, like that. So that means it predicts only the number and the type of the bond present between the molecule, and it also indicates about the lone pairs of electrons. But this approach gives no information about the arrangement of atoms in space, that is the shapes of the covalent molecules. So in the dot structures, we have never come across the shapes of the molecules. So that means we have seen only the type of the bond, whether it is a double bond, a single bond, or a triple bond, and the number of bonds that are present. And also we have come across how many lone pairs of electrons are there and on which atoms. But we have never seen the shape of the molecules. So in order to overcome this drawback, another theory was proposed that is called as a Vesper theory. Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. It's it is also called as a Vesper theory. So this theory was proposed by Sidgwick and Powell. And it was later on developed by Gillespie and Nyholm. Now we'll see what are the important points they have mentioned in this theory. See, according to this theory, a central atom will be there in a molecule. So during the formation of covalent bonds, the central atom will share its electrons with the other atoms. That means in a molecule, one central atom which forms covalent bonds with other atoms will be present. So during the chemical bond formation, that is a covalent bond formation, the orbitals, they get occupied by the electrons. The orbitals, they get occupied by the electron pairs. Why? Because when they are sharing the electron, the central atom, when share its electron with the other atoms, those orbitals, they get occupied by electron pairs. So whenever a central atom forms more than one covalent bond, then there will be more than one such orbitals surrounding the central atom. If more than one covalent bond is there, then we'll find more than one such orbitals surrounding the central atom, which are occupied by the electron pairs during the covalent bond formation by sharing of the electrons. Since the electrons experience the electrostatic forces of repulsion from one another, then the orbitals containing those electrons also experience the similar electrostatic repulsions. If around the central atom more number of orbitals are present, then more repulsions will be there. So in order to minimize these forces, the orbitals that are present around the central atom, they try to keep far apart. so that they can have the less energy and more stability. Whenever the orbitals experiencing the electrostatic repulsions, if they tend to keep apart, then they can minimize the repulsive forces and they can increase the stability. So this is the basis for the electron pair repulsion theory. This is the basis for the electron pair repulsion theory. Now we'll see some examples and how the forces are minimized. VSEPR theory may be stated as, see, in order to minimize the electrostatic repulsions, otherwise for maximum stability of the molecule, the orbitals that are occupied by the electron pairs in the valence shell of the central atom, they should be arranged in space in such a way that they should be as far as apart from one another. Then only the molecule can have the stability with minimum electrostatic repulsions. This statement not only applies for the electrons that are shared between the atoms, but also for the lone pair of electrons present in it. In the Lewis structure, that is the Lewis electron pair approach, we have seen that it can predict the number and the type of the bonds present in the molecule. It also indicates which atoms have lone pair of electrons. So in that dot structure, it could not represent the shape of the molecules. Here, in order to predict the structure, this theory have taken into account the orbitals containing shared pair of electrons and also the lone pair of electrons. So therefore, from VSEPR theory, we can say that the covalent molecule depends upon that is the shape of the covalent molecule depends upon the number of electron pairs that are present in that orbitals of the central atom. Based on that only, we can predict what type of geometry it can have. So we should know about the number of electron pairs present in the outermost shell of that central atom. Then we can decide what type of shape it is having. This VSEPR theory procedure is summarized as, in order to predict the geometry of a molecule, first of all, we have to draw the Lewis dot structure for that molecule, otherwise a polyatomic ion. For anything, we have to write the Lewis dot structure. Then you have to determine the electron group around the central atom, and that group should be arranged in such a way that it should have minimum electrostatic repulsions. The electron group should be arranged around the central atom in space or in 3 dimensions in such a way that that should have minimum repulsions. Then we have to assign that molecule with some designation. A, X, M, E, N. A is the central atom. X is the atom that is bonded to the central atom, and M is the number of such atoms, and E is the lone pair of electrons, and N is the number of lone pair of electrons. If at all any lone pairs are there, then it is designated as En. So in that way, we have to designate a molecule AXMEN. Then, first of all, we have to identify any lone pairs are there. If at all lone pairs are there, then they will have the repulsions of lone pair, lone pair, lone pair, bond pair, and as well as the bond pair, bond pair. Depending on them, they will have the bond angle that is deviating from the normal bond angles. Afterwards, we can describe the molecular geometry. Now let us try to predict the shapes of certain molecules. The first molecule I am taking is beryllium chloride. The atomic number for beryllium is 4 and the configuration is 2, 2, that is 1s2, 2s2. So in the excited state, it will give its 2s electron to the 2p orbital. So that means it will have a configuration of 1s2, 2s1 and 2px1 in the excited state. So that means it is having two unpaired electrons. And in chlorine, if you look at the configuration, which is having an atomic number of 17, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3px2, 3py2 and 3pz1. So that means in the z orbital, that is in the 3pz, you are finding one electron. So with such two chlorines, the beryllium which is having the unpaired electron will share and form two covalent bonds. So now let us try to write the Lewis dot structures for the beryllium chloride. This is the beryllium with the two chlorines, and then these are the electrons around the central atom, beryllium, and then these are the electrons of the chlorine. See, chlorine is having 7 electrons, though the 7th electron is sharing with the beryllium. Here also you are finding 7 electrons and the 7th electron is sharing with the beryllium. So that means you are finding two pairs of electrons around the central atom, that is two covalent bonds are formed. So if two orbitals are present around the central atom, the only way you can keep away from the repulsive forces is you have to arrange them in such a way that they should be at an angle of 180 degrees. So if the two orbitals that are present around the central atom, when they are kept at an angle of 180 degrees, then we can decrease the repulsive forces and then we can increase the stability. So now let us try to have the structure. So if two orbitals are present around the central atom, then the maximum stability can be obtained and the shape of the molecule is linear. Beryllium chloride can be designated as AX2 type. A is the central atom and X is the atom that is bonding to the central atom. Now we can write it as Ca is the central atom and these are the two bonds, covalent bonds bonding to the atoms X. And in order to reduce the repulsive forces, the only way to keep the orbitals occupied by the sharing of electrons is at an angle of 180 degrees. So if you keep the orbitals at an angle of 180 degrees around the central atom, then we can reduce the repulsive forces. So the angle is 180 degrees. In a similar way, we can represent for the beryllium chloride molecule. This is the beryllium and these are the two covalent bonds to the two chlorine atoms and the angle between them is 180 degrees. This is 180 degrees and this is the 3D model. So the pink color is the central atom and the two white colors, they are the bonding atoms to the central atom. They are placed to the central atom at an angle of 180 degrees to reduce the electrostatic repulsions. Okay. This is the angle. Okay. Now we'll see the next example. Let us see the geometrical shape of the another molecule, boron trifluoride, BF3. boron atomic number is 5 and its configuration is 2, 3, that is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. In the excited state, the 2s electron will go to the 2py orbital. So it will have as 1s2, 2s1, 2px1 and 2py1. And in the fluorine, whose atomic number is 9, the configuration will be 2, 7, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. So that means in the pz orbital, one electron is there, and here s orbital and px and py are having the unpaired electrons. So these are the three orbitals which are going to participate with their electrons in the for sharing. So the dot structure for the boron trifluoride will be like this. This is the boron and these are the three fluorine atoms and with their electrons. Fluorine 7 electrons and boron 3. Black one are the boron electrons present in the boron, that is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, and in this single electron which is sharing with the boron, they are the pz electrons. So now after writing the dot structure, we have to look for the geometrical shape of the molecule by following the VSEPR theory. So we'll see what will be the structure for that. So we have seen that in the Lewis dot structures, 3 pairs of electrons are shared. So that means the orbitals which are having unpaired electrons are 3 around the central atom. Those orbitals containing the electrons are sharing with the fluorine to form 3 covalent bonds. So in order to keep the 3 orbitals uh, reduce the repulsive forces, these 3 orbitals are arranged in such a way that they should have an angle of 120 degrees. So if the angle between them is 120 degrees, then we can reduce the repulsive forces and then increase the stability. Then the molecule will have a shape of trigonal planar, otherwise it is also called as a plane triangular. And the boron trifluoride, such molecules can be designated as AX3 type, in which A is the central atom and X is the atom that is bonding to the A. A is the central atom and these are the 3 covalent bonds formed by sharing of their electrons with the atoms X. And these 3 orbitals present around the central atom, they are kept at an angle of 120 degrees in order to minimize the repulsive forces. So the angle between XA and X is 120 degrees. This is of AX3 type, and even BF3 also will have the same angle with the shape trigonal planar. These are the 3 covalent bonds with the 3 fluorine atoms, and the angle between BF, this angle or this angle or this angle, whatever it is of 120 degrees. Now we'll see the 3D model for boron trifluoride. See, this is the 3D model, and here this is the central atom, and they are bonded. The central atom is bonded to 3 other atoms. So here the angle between the white, this pink and then white, so the angle will be 120 degrees. So in all of them, if you measure the angle, you will find that they are arranged in such a way that they are at an angle of 120 degrees. So this is a trigonal planar structure for AX3 type. Now we'll see the next molecule. I am taking methane. Its formula is CH4. And the carbon with atomic number 6 will have the configuration as 2, 4. That is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1 and 2py1. In the excited state, the s electron will go to the pz orbital so that it can have 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. So that means here 4 unpaired electrons are there which are going to share with the hydrogen s orbital containing unpaired electron. See here hydrogen whose atomic number is 1 will have the configuration as 1s1. So here the s orbital, that is 4 hydrogens having unpaired electrons, they share their electrons with the s orbital of having 1 electron, and the p orbitals with their single electron respectively. So that means here you are finding that in a methane you find 4 covalent bonds around the central atom. Carbon is the central atom, and around it, it is having the 4 covalent bonds. Now we'll see the Lewis dot structure for the methane. This is carbon and it's 4 electrons, and these are the 4 hydrogens with their single electron, and they are formed, 4 covalent bonds are formed by sharing of the electrons. So around the central atom you are finding that 4 electron pairs are there. So that means 4 orbitals with their electrons, they are present around the central atom. So in order to minimize the repulsive forces, let us see how they have to be arranged in the space, or otherwise in 3 dimensions. When four covalent bonds are present around the central atom, the only way to keep their orbitals containing the electrons away from each other is at an angle of 109 degrees 28 minutes. In such a case only we can reduce the repulsive forces. So whenever the angle is 109 degrees 28 minutes, then the molecule will have the structure as tetrahedral. The such molecules can be designated as AX4 type. All of them are the bonding electrons only. A is the central atom and X is the atom that is going to be bonded to A. See here, A is the central atom and these are the 4 covalent bonds. And covalent bonds, A is forming the bond with the atom X. Such you find 4 covalent bonds. So the only way to keep them away from repulsive forces is at an angle of 109 degrees 28 minutes. This is the angle. So here the angle in between these two XAX are here or here or here. In all the cases, you will find an angle of 109 degrees 28 minutes. You will observe in the 3D model. You can see in the 3D model. So this is the carbon and these are the 4 covalent bonds with 4 hydrogens. And this is the angle formed between them as 109 degrees 28 minutes. Now we'll see the 3D model. See, this is the 3D model. See here, the angle is 109 degrees 28, and here also, and here also, and here. So in any way, if you measure the angle between the central atom and the other 2 bonded atoms, the angle between them will be 109 degrees 28 minutes. This is how we can arrange the 4 orbitals around the central atom in 3-dimensional at an angle of 109 degrees 28 minutes. Now we'll see the next molecule. See, if the number of electron pairs are 5, then the geometrical structure will be trigonal bipyramidal. For example, PCl5. That is, if the electron pairs are 5 around the central atom, then the molecule will have a trigonal bipyramidal structure. If the number of electron pairs are 6, then the molecule will have octahedral structure. For example, SF6. So here I am not going in detail about these 2 molecules, but let us see the molecules which contain lone pairs. See, initially we have come across the VSEPR theory, that the VSEPR theory takes into account the shared pair of electrons as well as the lone pair of electrons. So if at all any lone pair of electrons are present, apart from the shared pair of electrons, then the structure will deviate. That is, it will not have the usual structure. The molecule gets deviated from the normal geometrical structure. That is, it's a regular geometry if that central atom contains any lone pair of electrons. So that means here if you take the shared pair of electrons as well as the lone pair of electrons, you will find a distortion from the geometrical distortion of the regular geometry. Now we'll see some examples. See, if more number of lone pairs are there, more distortion will be there. If the number of this is because you will find that there will be a lone pair repulsions, lone pair bond pair repulsions, as well as the bond pair repulsions. Because of these three types of repulsions in them, then the molecule will have a geometry rather than its regular geometry. Now let us see some examples for this. Now I am taking ammonia as the first molecule where we'll find a lone pair of electrons. Its formula is NH3, and nitrogen with atomic number 7, its configuration will be 2, 5. That is 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1. So here one lone pair is there and 3 unpaired are there. These 3 unpaired electrons, they share with the s electron of hydrogen. Such 3 hydrogens will take part in the bond formation. Hydrogen atomic number 1 and configuration is 1s1. So you'll find 3 covalent bonds around nitrogen, and one lone pair of electron is present on the nitrogen. So here nitrogen is the central atom, and around it 3 bonds are present with 3 hydrogens. So altogether you are finding that 4 orbitals are present around the central atom, in which one is having the pair of electron and the other 3 are having unpaired, and they are sharing with the s electron of hydrogen. So now we'll write the dot structure for the ammonia. This is nitrogen with 5 electrons, 1 paired electron, and 3 of them are going to be shared with the 3 hydrogens with their s electrons. So these are the 3 hydrogens and these are the 3 electrons, and you are finding that 3 bonds are present, 3 covalent bonds are present, and 1 lone pair is present on ammonia, that is on the central atom nitrogen. Now we'll see the geometrical structure of ammonia. Seen that in ammonia molecule, nitrogen is having 1 lone pair and then 3 bond pairs. So altogether we are finding 4 pairs. So the structure or the geometry of the molecule should be tetrahedron, but because of the presence of lone pairs, the geometry has changed to the trigonal pyramidal. That means it is a tetrahedron with a vertex missing. So that means because of the lone pairs lone pair of electrons, the bond angle between nitrogen and 2 hydrogens, instead of having 109 degrees 28 minutes, it is less than that. There will be repulsions between lone pairs and bond pairs in ammonia. That is between the bonded pair of electrons between nitrogen and hydrogen and the lone pairs that are present on nitrogen. The ammonia molecule, it can be designated as AX3E type. Here A is the central atom, X is the atom that is bonded to the A central atom. Such 3 other atoms, they bond to the central atom, and E is the lone pair of electrons. A is the central atom, and these are the 3 bonds with X, and this is the, you will find a lone pair. This is the lone pair, and the angle between them is less than 109 degrees 28 minutes because of the repulsions between lone pair bond pair, lone pair bond pair, and lone pair bond pairs. So instead of having 109 degrees 28 minutes, it will have an angle of 107 degrees 48 minutes. Now we'll see the same structure for ammonia. This is nitrogen, and these are the 3 bonds with hydrogens, and you'll find a lone pair here on nitrogen, and the bond angle between hydrogen, nitrogen and hydrogen is 107 degrees 48 minutes. Now we'll see the 3D structure for this. See, this is the 3D structure. This is the vertex, and here the vertex means here the lone pairs are represented as the vertex here with the cream color, and pink is the thing that it is a nitrogen, and these 3 white are the hydrogens. So 3 hydrogens are bonded to nitrogen, and the nitrogen is having a lone pair. So because of lone pair, bond pair, lone pair, bond pair and lone pair, bond pair repulsions, instead of having an angle of 109 degrees 28 minutes, it decreases to 107 degrees 48 minutes. Now we'll see the next molecule. Let us have a look at water molecule. See, it is H2O. Oxygen is having the atomic number as 8 and configuration is 2,6, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py1 and 2pz1. So here 2 lone pairs are there and 1 and 2 unpaired are there. So these unpaired electrons, they share with 2 hydrogens of which are having 1 electron in s orbital. Hydrogen, its atomic number is 1 and configuration will be 1s1. So such 2 hydrogens will take part in the covalent bond formation. Now we'll try to write the dot structures for water molecule. See, in the formation of the water molecule, oxygen is the central atom. So the central atom is a bond is giving or otherwise sharing its unpaired electrons with 2 hydrogens which is also having an unpaired electron. This is oxygen, and these are the 6 electrons, that is 2s2, 2px2, 2py1 and 2pz1. 2 paired electrons are there and 2 unpaired are there. So here these are the 2 hydrogens with their s electrons, and they form 2 covalent bonds by sharing their electrons. Now let us see the structure of this geometrical structure of this water molecule. So we could see that in water molecule you are finding 2 lone pairs and then 2 bond pairs. So that means altogether you are finding 4 pair of electrons around the central atom oxygen. So the expected geometrical structure for water molecule is tetrahedron. But because of 2 lone pairs, you will find lone pair repulsion, and because of the presence of bond pairs, you will find lone pair bond pair repulsions. So the angle decreases to 104 degrees 31 minutes from the tetrahedral bond angle. The molecular shape is a tetrahedron with 2 missing vertices. See, in ammonia molecule, we have seen one type of repulsion, that is a lone pair bond pair repulsion, because of the presence of 1 lone pair. Here in water molecule, you are finding 2 lone pairs. So because of that, you will find 2 types of repulsions, that is lone pair and then lone pair bond pair repulsions. That is the reason why the bond angle has still decreased when compared to the bond angle of ammonia molecule. Water, here you can designate water as AX2E2 type. Here A is the central atom, X is the atom that is bonded to A, and E2 means 2 lone pairs are present in water molecule. This is the central atom, and these are the 2 bonds bonded to the atoms X, and these are the 2 lone pairs. Because of the presence of lone pair and lone pair bond pair repulsions, instead of having the tetrahedral bond angle, the bond angle has decreased to 104 degrees 31 minutes because of two types of repulsions. This is the oxygen, and these are the two bonds to two hydrogens, and you will find a lone pair on oxygen atom, and the angle between hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen is 104 degrees 31 minutes. Now we'll see the 3D structure for the water molecule. See, this is the 3D structure, and these two are the vertices of a tetrahedron. So these two pairs of electrons are there. So you assume that the lone pairs are occupied at the vertices, and these are the two hydrogens, and this is the oxygen. So because of the presence of the lone pair repulsions and lone pair bond pair repulsions, the angle has decreased from tetrahedral bond angle to 104 degrees 31 minutes. Now let us sum up all the molecules which we have come across in this video. Now let us try to sum up all the molecules and then write them in the form of a table. Geometry of the molecules. And this is the table. In the first column, number of bonding pairs. In the second column, number of lone pairs. And then what type of geometry is present in that molecule and what is the bond angle present and what examples we have come across. See, if the number of bonding pairs are 2 without lone pairs, the geometry of the molecule is linear as AX2 type, and the angle between them XAX is 180 degrees. XAX, the bond angle between them is 180 degrees. And the example we have seen is beryllium chloride. If the number of bonding pairs are 3 without lone pairs, then the geometry of the molecule will be trigonal planar, that is AX3 type, and the angle between XAX will be 120 degrees. So here also 120, here also, and in all the three we'll find that it is 120 degrees. And the example we have seen is boron trifluoride. Now we'll see the otherwise we'll tabulate the next molecule. See, if the number of bond pairs are 4 without lone pairs, the geometry of the molecule is tetrahedral as AX4 type. A is the central atom bonding to 4 other atoms. So the geometry is tetrahedral. The bond angle will be 109 degrees 28 minutes between XAX or XAX in all the cases. So it is 109 degrees 28 minutes because of tetrahedral bond angle, tetrahedral structure is 109 degrees 28 minutes. And the example we have seen is methane. If the number of bonding pairs are 3 with one lone pair, so whenever one lone pair is there, altogether 4 are there, so the structure should be tetrahedral, but because of the presence of lone pair, it gets deviated from the tetrahedral structure and even the bond angle also. So that means one lone pair is present in on A. It is AX3E type. We'll find a lone pair and the bond angle between XAX will be less than 109 degrees 28 minutes. So it will have an angle of 107 degrees 48 minutes. The molecule which we have seen is ammonia. Now we'll write for the next molecule. Now let us tabulate for other molecule. See, if the number of bonding pairs are 2 and if the number of lone pairs are also 2, so altogether you will find 4 pairs of electrons around the central atom. So the expected geometrical shape of the molecule is tetrahedral, but because of the lone pairs, you will find the lone pair repulsions as well as the lone pair bond pair repulsions. So the geometry will be different. See, A is the central atom and it is bonded to two other atoms, X. It is having two lone pairs of electrons. So instead of having the tetrahedral shape, it will have a shape of angular shape. Otherwise we can call it as a V shape. So, and the bond angle, instead of having 109 degrees 28 minutes, because of these repulsions you'll find an angle less than 109 degrees 28 minutes, which is, see, the angle XAX. So the expected angle for the tetrahedron should be 109 degrees 28 minutes, but the angle decreases to 104 degrees 31 minutes. This is less when compared to the bond angle of ammonia, because there we find only one lone pair of electron, but here you are finding two lone pairs. So the lone pair repulsion will still decrease the angle to 104 degrees 31 minutes. And the example we have seen is water molecule. And some other molecules are also there, but here I am not going to discuss about these molecules. For example, AX4E type, which have the geometry as seesaw, and example SF4, and the other AX3E2 type, which has a T shape, for example CLF3, like that, and then AB5E type, AX5E type, BRF5, for example. So that means all these examples, in that we can see it, otherwise we can know the geometrical shapes and then bond angles in that. But here I'm not going to discuss all about them. Um, but let us see what are the limitations of the Vesper theory. See, this Vesper theory is quite successful in explaining about the geometrical shapes. Why? Because we have come across so many examples and then we have known about the geometry of that molecules. But the main limitation is that this it doesn't have any theoretical basis for the repulsions. Why? Because you are finding repulsions, electrostatic repulsions in them, where different type, that is lone pair repulsions are there, and even the around the central atom, the orbitals which are having the electrons will also have the repulsion. So the effect of electron pair repulsion molecular shapes is not clear in this theory. And the other limitation in the valence electron pair repulsion is that it could not give any proper information. Otherwise it doesn't have any information about the bond lengths and as well as the multiple bonds. So that means this theory could not provide any information about bond lengths or the presence of multiple bonds. So in order to overcome these limitations, two other theories were proposed. One is the valence bond theory and the other theory is the molecular orbital theory. Okay, thank you so much.